Simon, despite the power and riches of the Premier League, does it still lack an ultimate iconography, if you like, and pull of a club like Real Madrid? Will La Liga always have an edge over the Premier League? And the reason I say that is that, look at it, there's the evidence. Jude Bellingham, Borussia Dortmund, next stop, Real Madrid. Not Manchester City, not Liverpool, not Manchester United, Real Madrid.
Well, we say that, but if you follow the reporting, it's a long way away from being something that's being done. And what's being done at this moment in time is his representation running around, seeing if they can tick a few boxes to make sure that when they do start this competitive auction around this player, that they've got certain people in the right spaces, because we know that Liverpool have ruled themselves out. Now, it's unarguable when we've seen the players that have landed at Madrid over the years, whether David Beckham had run his course at Man United and there was a change up because Ferguson felt there was a need for Beckham to move on. It's a debate. Whether Eden Hazard has gone to Real Madrid and never ripped anything up is irrelevant because he's gone there and chose to go there.
Yeah.
Gareth Bale obviously left Tottenham and Real Madrid came in and paid a world record fee at that time, which was wonderful and commendable and so admirable, given the fact that Javier Tebas, the head of the Spanish league, runs around telling everybody that it's actually the English Premier League that's causing all the financial problems in world football. Having lived in that country for 20 years, you have to accept that Real Madrid is a remarkable football club, and that it does have this illustrious history. You know, when
it's
you go,
the most iconic club, isn't it, in the world?
Well, I don't think it's the most iconic football club, because the eyes on the prize probably still look at Man United. If Man United were achieving more in the Premier League, they do. Globally, if you look around the world, I think there's an argument to be had that Manchester United still have the minds and hearts of an audience.
European Cup winners, Champions League winners, Real Madrid.
And therein comes the conundrum that it's difficult to find a way around, because not only have you got this legacy of Di Stefano and people of that nature playing back in the day, you've got this humongous body of achievement in the Champions League that ultimately sets Madrid out of the ordinary. Then you've got this insertion into the culture of Spain, you know, with the nature of this club being the Principality club, and Madrid being such a cosmopolitan capital in such a beautiful part of the world with such wonderful weather.
It's a kind of royal club.
So it's all of these things that drag you to it, which is ultimately the lure of the club, its achievements, the climate that you're playing in, the rewards that this football club can pay, and the salaries and transfer fees that they will pay. Now, I would ask you, if Madrid weren't able to pay these transfer fees and subsequently Tebas gets his way and they keep on driving down the ability to spend that the two big clubs in Spain have had, specifically Barcelona, I wonder if the lure will still be the same. But there is no doubt.
In the meantime, how could the Premier League, the elite in the Premier League, Manchester United, of course, are one of them, Liverpool, one of them, Manchester City with all its wealth, how could they miss out on Bellingham? How could the Premier League bow to the best in La Liga, Real Madrid, by coming in and getting them?
Well, first of all, the deal hasn't been done yet.
No, I know, but it's well on the way to being done.
Well, it's well on the way to being discussed, and it's well on the way to Real Madrid being used as a stalking horse. So if anybody wants to come in, Real Madrid would be the standard bearer for the finances of it. And we all know that Madrid will pay astronomical levels of money. And so we know that Man City will. So with that in mind, there's a balance between... I mean, I'm disappointed to see Jude Bellingham. I mean, it's remarkable. He's 19 years of age. We're talking about a 19-year-old kid there that's still developing, and he's reached such a height of people's perception of him.
Yeah.
He's doing well in Dortmund. I can see the fact he's admired over there. He hasn't scored.
You and I saw it in Qatar.
Yeah, he's a really
People were on their edge of
He's a really good player.
He's
a really, really good player. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. I do think we get a bit carried away with how good these players are, but he's a really, really good player. He doesn't score many goals, but notwithstanding that, is an influential part of a team in Germany. I think it's really admirable. I really do admire some of these young players that are now going abroad and learning a different language, becoming more acclimatised to the world outside of England and the world beyond their back garden and tattoos and what everyone else does in English football, and really getting themselves into a situation where they're going to be very rounded, balanced individuals, human beings and footballers. So there's something to be said for that. I'm disappointed that all roads don't lead back to the UK. I would have loved to have seen him play for Liverpool, not because I've got any particular overriding admiration for Liverpool, but I just think Liverpool as a competitive force in the Premier League and have been so compelling over the last couple of years, I want to see him back to that level because I thought they were exciting to watch, and I thought Bellingham would have helped him do that. And I don't quite know why Liverpool can't afford him. I don't quite know why they can't afford him. They're choosing not to be able to afford him.
Could they pay him 12 million a year? That's what Real Madrid are looking at doing.
Well, I'm assuming they can because they're paying Mohamed Salah that kind of money, if not more, aren't they? So they can afford to pay him that. It's whether they're choosing to. and obviously they've got to clear a bit of dead wood out, and there'll be people like James Milner, not that I'm suggesting he's dead wood, will be coming to the end of their contracts, and there will be releases of finances in there. But the overall overriding position is, do I think that the lure of Real Madrid is absolutely irresistible? I don't. I think it's a real pull factor. And I think Guardiola and Man City's a real pull factor.
Though. When Real Madrid come here, they're here.
Yeah.
The other week when they played at Chelsea, assistant producer Joe and I went, Real Madrid were in town.
Granted.
And you thought, this is a special night. And look at the team he's going to join.
And when Man United are in town, people know it too.
It's not the same.
It is the same.
It's not the same.
It is the same.
You look at the team he's going to join. If and when it's done, he's going to fit in there with the likes of Militao, Valverde.
Yeah.
He's going to fit Vinicius Jr.
Fantastic.
He's going to fit in with these names who are coming through, who are global stars themselves, but who are going to be there. That's where Haaland probably will end up.
But Real Madrid, play in a league where predominantly it's dominated by two sides. They've got a huge history, and you have to respect it.
How about the Premier League?
Well, the Premier League is a far more competitive league, and far more competitive in all its different incarnations.
Manchester City, five titles in 6,
and that's fine, right? But by the same token, you've got a Premier League that teams at the bottom of the table can beat teams at the top. You've got 3 backstories. You've got who's going to win the league, who's going to get inside the top 4, and who's going to get relegated. And you see these monolithic football clubs like Everton that have had so much money spent on them being the bottom 3 likely to get relegated, and all these different sub-stories that are all part of the intrigue of the Premier League.
Let me interrupt you. There's a message, and it's typical of what I'm seeing. Simon, you're great. We love you, but not in this. Jim's leaving you with egg in your face. Real Madrid, 13 European Cups, Champions League. They are the greatest club team ever.
I don't disagree with that, but we're talking about the hearts and minds.
You can't beat their iconography.
We're talking about the hearts and minds of the fans around the world, and I think with Manchester United, they're up there with Madrid. I think they're up there with the emotional investment of fans from Malaysia to Mombasa. Right? They've got that viewpoint of Manchester United and Real Madrid in the same breath. Now, if Man United were actually achieving something now in terms of dominating the English Premier League, I think we'd be having a different conversation. But you can't resist the lure of Madrid. Yeah. It's a better climate. It's a better environment. They pay more money. They buy bigger players, and they win the Champions League repeatedly. And so all of those are a pull.
And that's the most important point that you left at the end. Never mind the sun shining. They win the Champions League
here's
regularly.
The thing. It'll be interesting to see if Jude Bellingham were to go to Real Madrid at this stage in his career, he's 19. Does he spend 8 years at Madrid? Or does he do what often gets done to other football clubs, which is, don't forget, Ronaldo signed for Manchester United. Ronaldo was a prestigious talent that wasn't a secret.
Yeah.
United signed him. He was signed from underneath the noses of other football clubs. So there is the reverse side of the argument, but it'd be interesting to see if Bellingham goes to Madrid, does he use Madrid as a stepping stone to come back to clubs in England, rather than the other way around, which seems to be often the case, that our players get landed in our best clubs.
Possibly.
And then end up in Spanish clubs.
Yeah, but the significant point is this: when he's got the chance to come here to one of the elite, he goes to Real Madrid. Why? Because they're the club with the iconography.
Well, he goes to Real Madrid because they may well be the club that's prepared to meet every single one of the expectations that Borussia Dortmund have of the transfer fee, because there is no release clause in his contract. So Dortmund's competitive tension will drive the price up. There is a preparedness to be able to meet the salary requirements that only a few clubs in England can meet.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, there were two pulls there. But I'm not suggesting that I need to be just simply a little Englander and say that it's our clubs that have the best mentality.
Why did you live 20 years in Madrid? In Spain?
For a variety of reasons. None of them I'm going to disclose to you. Albeit
Benidorm.
Because it's a wonderful part of the world to live in. It's a part of the world that I was living in when I was a kid with my father and mother when I was younger. And also because I like that part of the world and I could. And who wants to live in England in the pouring rain if you can go and live in Spain for a period of time?
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.